Hi guys, this section is about motion tracking. Just motion tracking. How to track position, how to track scale, how to attach certain objects such as effects, pre-comps, and text and other things. I created this section so I can start you up with motion tracking without intimidation. You know, you need to learn the basic, you need to learn what's a track point, how to adjust it, and how to create attach point, how to fix them, how to use the offset. So it is step by step how to create motion tracking within After Effects. I hope you enjoyed this section, and remember, if you have any questions, just post them in the Q&A section and I will be very happy to answer them. So let's dive in and start with the first lecture of motion graphics in After Effects. Hi guys, welcome to this new section about motion tracking. This will be quite interesting, and I know you're looking forward to learn motion tracking and to make some fancy things for your videos, and that will be quite cool, by the way. After Effects allows you to track objects in motion, meaning moving objects, such as this boat you're seeing here. This is a boat that is in motion. So it's an object that is in motion. We want to track it inside the video, and after we track it, we will get a track, that is a motion path, if you'd like to say it so, and then attach other layers or other pre-compositions and even effects to that motion track that we have created. Now, this is very useful and gives you a very nice effect, and I'm sure you have seen very many of them on TV. We are going to do it very easy here. We are going to create a track. That's the first thing we want to create. Then from there on, we will understand how to manipulate the track when it goes wrong. And then we start attaching text and pre-comps and stories like this to the track. Now, how do I get started with motion tracking? If you come to animation here, after you choose your layer, you can see you can track the camera. We'll see that. Track in Mocha. I will have a special course about Mocha AE. And there is the warp stabilizer, VFX, that's an effect. And we have track motion. And notice there is track a mask and track a certain property. Fine. So now we are only interested in track motion. I can click on the track motion and the tracker panel will appear. Also, you can come to window and call up the tracker panel that will appear also here. Let's take it and put it up so we can open it to the maximum. First of all, let's look at this panel. It's a very interesting panel. Its name is tracker. Why? Fine. What you can do here, you have 4 main options, but 2 of them here are only effects. Track camera and warp stabilizer are just effects. If I enable this one by clicking on it, you notice it's starting to work something and it's just an effect. You can enable it and disable it. I will delete it. Okay. Warp stabilizer is the same, is an effect, and you start analyzing in the background, analyzing your video. So you can put it on and off. Okay. So we have seen these 2 that are effects. We will study them in this section. What we want to focus on now is track motion. So I will click on track motion. It created a current track called tracker 1. This is a track like a motion path, okay? And the motion source is the video itself. Cool. The track type is transform. This is the default, but also you can have stabilize, parallel corner, and perspective corner pin. And this one we are going to work on all of them except row, of course. So sometimes the transform disappear and you will get row. Please get it back to transform. Now we can track position, rotation, and scale. And also we can have a target. So after the tracking is done, we can attach a target here. As you can see, there is no targets yet. We can attach a layer, we can attach an effect with a point control, and that's pretty interesting. Let's cancel here. Let's have a closer look at the track point. I will just zoom in. So you notice that all of this is the track point. It has the big square, which is the search region. That's the search region outside. This is where it's gonna search to find the small square, where to place the small square, which is the feature region. And within the feature region, it will put a feature center. That will be a keyframe now called feature center. Now, this small cross here is not the center, it is the attach point. it is to this point you are going to attach other layers, effects, or whatever you want to attach here, maybe text also. So After Effects will look in the big square, which is the search region. So it's going to search around here all over to determine where to position the small square, which is the feature region. And within the feature region, it's going to create a keyframe. And this will be the feature center. And the small cross here is not the center. This is the attach point. This is the point on which you will attach other layers and other effects or whatever you want. You can move the attach point anywhere you want. It will not affect how the track is working, and you can move it later on also, and you can give it some offset to attach other layers. So let's zoom out again and we go to our main here. So we want to move our track point to the region we want to track. But make sure that the area you want to track has high contrast with the other objects around. For example, the man here has high contrast with the boat, which is white, and the sea behind it and everything else. If you try to track somewhere here, you are going to have quite some problems because it will move around. There is no contrast. So let's put it over the guy, which determines a good contrast. And you see there is a magnifier that will show you the pixels you are going to track exactly. So I will leave it there. I will drop it. I'm going to zoom in. I press alternate and zoom in. And notice now what's going to happen. Let's look at the search region. If you want to move your search region, just click on one border and you can move it. Of course, it cannot overlap over the feature region. That is the small square. You can just use the points and determine, okay, I wanted to search here and make maybe the feature region a bit smaller. Cool. We are cool here, and we move it. So we wanted to look in this area to determine the feature region and then give us a feature center, and we will have our attach point in the middle of the feature center and we can attach our layers. Now, how do I start tracking? Let's go back to 100% and zoom a bit more. Here you are. Now, when I start tracking, I want this track point to be always on the man behind. If it goes away, it goes very far, it means the tracking has been corrupted. I need to redo it or to adjust it. To start tracking, all I have to do is to come to Analyze Forward. I can also analyze backward if I come backward in time and analyze it this way. But of course, it's better to start analyzing forward. I will click and it will start analyzing and creating our interest points. And notice what's going to happen. When it gets to that point, the boat is gone, the man is gone, but this track point is lost. It cannot cross to this side. So there's quite some work here to do to eliminate this, how it got lost. So what I will do here, let's go to the layer and open the layer. You notice we have motion tracker. That's a group of properties all together. It's not under effect. Cool. I will open up a bit. Oh, twirl down and I have tracker. Tracker is my track point. You notice I have only one track point here. And then within the track point, I have the feature center, the confidence, and attach point. The confidence is how much confidence After Effects has in tracking this point. Now, also, I have a ton of keyframes. Let's make this a bit smaller. Yes. I have a ton of keyframes that are, some of them are totally useless. Let's go back with the timeline to go back where the man was. It's here. This is where it started losing tracks. Let's zoom in even more. Press alternate and roll the mouse. You notice all these keyframes are totally useless. Let's go back a bit. So this is okay, this is okay. And I guess over here, if we zoom in, I will find out the keyframe that is totally, getting lost. So over here, for example, fine. I will select all these keyframes till the end and just delete them. So when I delete them, what's happening exactly? There is nothing happening. Notice that some keyframes here have been jumping. I can come and adjust them. If I go backward a bit, cool, and then I can come and adjust this keyframe here and the other one if I like to. That's cool. Let's go to the last keyframe. Come back. Okay, so that's the last keyframe. Maybe the one before it pressed J. No, it's okay. We go to the last one and then I'll move in time and then the man now is showing. I will hold the track point, click on it, and just move it above the new area that I want to track. Actually, it's not the new area, but a continuation. Notice there is a motion path here. Then I will zoom out, come back here, and say track again. So now it's continue tracking. I press spacebar to stop, come back, and notice what's going to happen at the end of the movie now. If I continue analyzing, you know, the guy is going, but it's still giving me so many keyframes that are totally useless. I will go back. So from here, the guys disappear. Okay, fine. I will come to my timeline here. I try to zoom out a bit. And I'll take all these keyframes. I don't need them. I will just delete them. And maybe the last one also I will delete. No, that's okay. Now I want the track point to come out, so but I cannot drag it. You know, if I drag it, it doesn't come out at all. So I'll move a bit in time, let's say over here, and instead of, you know, moving it, I'm gonna use the feature center here to move it. I will press U to see only the keyframes, and I have the feature center. I can just move it in value. Now notice something interesting. When you move the feature center, the attach point is also moving. Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. But if you move the attach point, the feature center doesn't move. And also it makes a lot of sense. You might want to attach it, you know, over here. So you'll move the attach point over here, and the feature center will not be moving. I will undo that, and I will move it to the outside. Cool. So now I have quite a motion here. So it comes back. Fine, let's zoom out and see exactly what we have achieved. If you play now, you see that, let's zoom out and go to the beginning of the layer. You notice that very nicely the track point is going over the man that is moving, and then it jumps over here. Cool. And then it comes out. That's very beautiful. Now, what are we going to do with all these keyframes, and how are we going to use them? This is what we will be covering in the next lecture, and attaching some text, some other composition, or whatever you want to the attach point. I'll see you then. Welcome guys to the second lecture for tracking. Now in the previous lecture, if you remember, we created tracker 1, and we created all the keyframes and the motion path for tracking. If you press U, you'll find out that we had a feature center, confidence, and the attach point. So we attach everything to this attach point. Fine, how do I do that? In your absence, I created a simple animation that does just like a radar, a small radar. Nothing much, it's very simple. I don't care about this animation, but I want to show you how to post a pre-comp and using this animation. I'll go back, I think there is a small mistake, yes. We are going to make it 30 seconds all the way. Fine. Let's come here, and now we want to attach the radar to the man here. How do we do that? First of all, let's drop radar inside our comp. So it's over here. We come to our layer, we go to our layer panel, we open our tracker, and we have here our tracker. So how do you do it? Using the tracker panel. You come to edit target, and here we can have a radar. Also we can have effect point, but we have only here radar. So we'll choose radar, and we click OK. Now, if you click OK, I'll come to radar and open its position. I will show you how. Nothing happens to radar here. It's not following the tracker. What you have to do is to apply. And notice what's going to happen to the position when I apply. If I click apply, it will ask me apply dimension X, Y. You can apply X only or Y only, but most of the time we go for X, Y. I will click OK. Now notice exactly in the position of radar, it copied the keyframes, all of them. It's like a copy paste. It's not a link. So if you change any value from the attach point, it will not change in the position of the radar. We are in our composition. Let's run a RAM preview. I will open it a bit here, and we go to preview and run a RAM preview. Here you are, your radar is following 100% our track. If we deselect, you can see it nicely. It is following. But you notice now we have a slight problem here. I want to adjust it, that this pole is coming, you know, behind the radar, something like this, which is not very normal. We can adjust this one using the masks. This is how I'm gonna do it. Okay, I will show you because I want to show you because it's nice. I will take another layer that is the same video, and I will drop it above the, or above all. Okay, and come here and say, okay, I want to use the pen tool to create a mask. I will zoom in here and start creating a mask for the layer. As simple as this. I'm not gonna be careful here, just want to show you. It's not gonna look perfect, but it's gonna look somehow okay. Cool. And here you are with a small bend here. Okay, and here with a small bend also, something like this, and we close it. It is not perfect, but it will do the job. Now this layer has been masked, so the only thing about that will show from this layer is the pole. And here you are, you have fixed your problem. I will remove the sound from both of them. Let's view it at 100%, and we come over here, for example, we put radar on and we try it. Now the radar will come behind the pole. I would deselect pressing F2, and you can see it. Let's bring it over here. And here you are, your pole is in front of the radar. It's not 100% perfect. You must come back and adjust the mask. Fine. So this has been done. In the next lecture, we will be attaching an effect to the attach point and see how we can move it using the offset. I will see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture, we're still in Tracker and we want to track position and scale. Now, scale is a bit different, but pretty easy to use, and you really need to learn it because it will give you a lot of advantages and you can really work some fancy animation with it. So let's have a look at our video clip here. You see the guy is going away, moving away from the main scene in front, and he's becoming smaller. I think this is a very good example to use now the scale here. We will attach the scale to the guy, and we attach some text and some balls maybe, and to see it coming out. Now this movie is very big or very long. We want only to do 10 seconds, but you will know that the tracking will track in the layer panel over here, and will track up to 24 seconds. So we need to stop it when we finish tracking. Let's start. We come to tracker and we say track motion. We have running MP4 because I opened the panel, and we add the scale. So I'm tracking the position and the scale, and of course I have to position the track points. The first one I want to put it on his head, and the second one I'm gonna put it on his pants here. You know, the contrast is very big here between the black and the gray of the road, and also for the upper part, the head, it's also great contrast, so it will work very fine. So what I will do, I need to take these track points and put them one on top. Here you are. Put it in the middle. Let's make this one a bit bigger. It will work better. And then let's take the other one and put it down. Now I'm not very sure if it's gonna work 100%, even me. I have to try. So you will analyze the first one. If it doesn't work, you analyze it again. It's no big deal. And if it doesn't work at all, then change your MP4, bring another one. But actually it will always change. You need some patience sometimes, you know, stopping, looking at the keyframes, moving the track point a bit, canceling a few keyframes like we have done before. But at the end, you can almost track anything, provided it is not too small to be tracked. So I will analyze forward here, see exactly if it is working. So I have my first point here and second point here. Cool. It's working until now, and I want to stop it at 10 seconds. Let's see when it becomes very small, will it still track? You know, this one is not tracking very well. It's moved on the right, but it's still okay. We can still use it. The head is very, very good. Fine. Now we are coming to the end and everything is still fine. Cool. I will stop it here. Let's go and open the U for keyframes. So if I come to the end here, and select all my keyframes that are outside the work area, I will just delete them. That's okay for us. Fine. Now what I will do, I will come to the composition panel and enter some text. I will write running is good. Okay, you can write anything you want, of course. Now, and I will position it nicely. Now the most important is the anchor point here. Be careful, the anchor point is on the side. What I will do is to put the anchor point in the middle by pressing Ctrl Alt and Home after selecting the layer, of course. Cool. We start now tracking this one. I will come to the layer panel and choose my layer. Fine, the tracker is here. And come and say edit target. Running is good. That's the text is okay. I will say okay. And of course I have to apply. Remember always to apply. XY. Cool. Now it's coming on top here. Let's look a bit what we have down there. First of all, for the tracker we have 2 points. We have track point 1 and track point 2. We adjusted them, but you see there is nothing about scale. There is feature center, attach point. So After Effects is going to use the attach point information to create a certain scale, and it will vary between 0 and 100%. Let's go back here. We have our scale, but it appeared on top because this is where the first attach point is. Fine. Let's go. How do you fix this one? Using the anchor point of the layer. We just move it to the right, or we just move it down. Okay, that's cool. So now it's in the middle. Let's look at it at 100%. It's not bad. It's in the middle. Let's deselect and run and see what's happening. I will go to preview and click moving. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's jumping too far, but you get the concept here. So After Effects is going to use the track points to deduce a certain animation for the scale and certain percentage for scale. Okay, now let's add something else. Let's take a basketball. It's not here. I want to import a file and bring in a basketball here. Import. So that's my basketball. I'm going to take the basketball, come to the beginning, take the basketball and just drop it here. Cool. And let's make it smaller. Here you are. Now I want to, also track on the basketball. I will come to tracker, go to the panel, choose my layer. That's my layer here. And when it says edit target, I will choose basket or running.png. Here you are, and apply. Same. You will notice that the basketball came on top. I will come to the running PNG, that's the basketball, and start, start using the anchor point to move the basketball wherever I want it. Let's put it here, and then let's put it down over here, just next to him. Cool. Let's run and see if you have done a good job. And here you are. You have the basketball and the guy and the name running all together, and it's pretty cool. Notice what's happening. Now the basketball is too high. Maybe we want to bring it a bit lower. So I will take it and take the anchor point a bit. Let's move this up. Take the anchor point and take it down more further. And let's run it, see what happens. So the ball is coming with his feet. It's pretty nice. I could have put it next to his feet, but that's okay. And it's bouncing ball. So now this is how you use the scale. And it's pretty easy. You really didn't have to know what is the scale and how big is it, how small it is, and deduce percentage. It's just direct with After Effects. And this is the way to create lots of animation and lots of visual effects with After Effects. Now, of course, here the words are jumping too much. What you can do, you can come to the position of the character here and open the smoother. Let's see, smoother is already open for me. Smoother, we just reduce the number of keyframes inside a property. So this is a special path here. I will say tolerance 5. It means reduce by 5% or whatever. Tolerate 5%, whatever it is. And I click apply. Notice what's going to happen here. The keyframes are being reduced. If I apply again, they will reduce. If I put 10, also now it will reduce even more. But did it work? It is not like if you reduce the keyframes, it's going to be smoother. No, not really. What's going to happen is the path in between keyframes will be just a bit longer, and it will be not jumping so much in between keyframes. So here you are. This is how you use scale, and this is how you use the tracking with scale and position at the same time. I'll see you in the next lecture, and please have fun. Please go to After Effects and start working on the tracking. Make nice things. Adjust this one, for example, and download this project and play around and see what you can do. Hi guys, welcome to this new lecture about tracking. And I remind you that we are still in track motion. We didn't do anything else. We still have a lot to cover here, and it's pretty interesting, pretty nice. And don't be scared from tracking. I know that you might go to YouTube and find these guys doing for you, fancy things. These guys have more than 10 and 15 years experience, and they are like every day on After Effects from morning to evening to be able to do that. But learning the strategies and learning what's right and how to do it right will really cut your learning time by, I don't know, 90% or even 200%. So in this lecture, I want to show you how to add an effect to the track and then move that effect around, see how we can play with effects and how come it can track effects. Now, the effect I would like to track is the CC light. I like this effect very much, and we are going to take this effect and drop it on the layer. Notice what is this effect. It has intensity, that's very fine. It has a center. So anything that has a center, a single center, can be added to the tracker, to the transform over here. And we'll see how to do that. Now, what I will do is to select my layer, go back and find track 1. Now, you see here we have edit target. If you click, now you have another option here, CC light rays, center. You notice we are going to take from CC light rays the center and attach it to the attach point of our tracker. That's very beautiful. Let's click OK. And obviously nothing will happen. You need to apply. If you come to the effect here, let's close the motion tracker and we open effect. You notice that you have CC lights. That's very fine. But also you have the center. So I will highlight the center here. There is nothing. When I say apply, it will apply the XY to the center, and here you are. It's a copy paste of all the keyframes of the tracker. Cool. If you run your animation now, it's gonna take some time. Don't worry. Slowly it will get there. Now we have the effect and the composition here running at the same time. Let's put off the composition for a second and see exactly what's happening. Cool. Beautiful. Now you know that this effect is very beautiful, but it's being wasted where I put it here. Maybe if you put it on the top of the mask, it will be, give it more light here, like it's following a star, something like this. How do you do that? Now, the first way you can do it is to retrack here and have a tracker 2 and stories like this. That's okay, but the best way to do it is to play with a simple property in the motion tracker, and that is the attach point offset. Let's go to our layer panel. Now we want to move our attach point to the top here. Now it's not possible to move the attach point. The attach point here has so many keyframes. If you want to move it, you need to hold it and move it all together. But also you have tracked a certain point here that you might want to add more attachment to that point. So how do you do it? You use here the attach point offset. It's very easy to use. Let's move our attach point and let's give it more offset. If I move it to the left, you can see it here moving to the right, and then now it's on top. Cool. And I like moving like this very nicely. And let's pull it over here. Cool. And take it a bit up. Cool. Now I have done this. So the attach point is over there. Notice nothing has happened, but the position of the attach point now is 305 and 134. It means it will add these two. How do I get the effects to be here? I will go to edit target, choose the effect again. That's cool with me. And I say apply. As soon as I apply, it will ask me for XY. It comes here. Now what happened exactly? It recalculated all the keyframes and copy pasted them. That is the attach point plus its offset. So now if you go to the CC light and you look at the center, you notice it's 439, and 439 is the sum of 305, that is the X of the attach point, plus the attach point offset. Now if you run your animation and we want to enable everything, the radar will put it on. If you run the animation, here you are. With a single tracking, you have the effect on top of the mask, and it's very beautiful. Notice that the effect here is moving wrongly. We need to come at this point, find the keyframes and really adjust it. I will not do that because it's just miscellaneous work and you can retrack or do lots of other solutions here. So let's not waste your time. But the concept is there. What have we done? We have taken a center from an effect and we have attached it to the attach point. Let's try another one. A very nice effect will be the radial blur, the simple radial blur, this one. I'm gonna take it and put it on top of the layer again. Now notice that the radial blur has also a center. Okay, you can see the center. So immediately, if it has a center, if you come to your tracker and we choose our layer, we go to the layer panel, it will appear here. We want tracker 1, keeps on changing. Make sure we have transform, cool, edit track, and notice here now I have the option. I will take radial blur. So I already done the CC light. I will choose radial blur and say apply. But notice it's gonna apply with the offset. Now, how do I remove the offset? You know, now this blur, I want to, for example, from the middle here or back to 0. Let's go to the attach point, put it back to 0. So you notice these are not dynamic values. These are values that will copy and paste your keyframes here. I will say apply and I will say OK. Of course, it spoiled our CC light rays, but nevertheless, I'm showing you here. So now if you run your animation, you'll find everything is going very smoothly and they are both following. Though I have put the CC light there, you notice that it has a certain effect and the radial blur is quite impressive. Let's reduce the intensity, or we come to the radial blur here. The amount is 10. Let's make it only 4, not to have so much. And here you are. You can still see, let's see it at 100%. You can still see the lights here and it's all blurred and it's fantastic, by the way. As using very simple techniques, this is what you can do with After Effects. Now after it renders, it's gonna be very beautiful. Let's put it back to the beginning and play it, and here you are. So you have attached now an effect and you have attached a pre-comp. You can also go ahead and attach text, and you can also attach shapes any way you want. I will give you that homework and I will hope to see you in the next lecture. These are easy techniques, they are not difficult, and don't tell me they are advanced techniques. We are not near advanced. Advanced will be quite complicated, 10 effects on each other and things like this. So we're still in the beginner, or I would say a bit of the intermediate. So have courage, you know, work on it and, you know, create all the effects that you want to create and play with it. So come to Tracker, come to Motion and use it and play with it. You have any questions, please ask them. And I'm here to really do my best so you can learn the best of After Effects and do extraordinary things. See you then. Hi guys, welcome to Motion Tracking. This is Loai with you from aeschoolonline.com. Now in this lecture we want to look at tracking motion and we are going to work on perspective corner pins. Now we have a video clip here if we want to preview it. Now notice I'm on half resolution here. I put it on auto to save some time so it can render all the movie. And the view here is off, it's a final quality. I can put it on adaptive quality, but this is okay now, it's rendering the whole movie. By changing here to auto or full or quarter, then you will be able to save on memory and increase the speed of rendering. Cool, now we want to track something. You see, this is a scene of a living room, and on the TV here what's appearing is some cartoons. We don't want these cartoons, we want to put another movie. So how do we change the content of this movie? We are going to go to Tracker and we are going to select our layer and say Track Motion. I will come to Transform here and choose Perspective Corner Pin. And that will give us 4 corners to track, and then we can replace them with any video or image or whatever we want there. I will click on it and I have the 4 corners. I will go back to the beginning. Okay, you don't want to start doing this in the middle. And I will zoom in a bit. Now I have to adjust the 4 corners to the corners of the TV, for example, here in our case. I will drag the first corner and try to put as much as possible on the corner of the TV. Here we'll do, for example, take the other corner and just put it over here. And maybe, nope, we want to go back. Yes. And we take the third corner from here and put it over here. That will do. And then take the last corner and put it on the corner of the TV here. Now, I'm showing you something very simple, something that's practical for you to replicate. We are starting to demonstrate how the corners will work. So I'm not going to do something very fancy for you to get confused and give up. No, this is something very easy. And you want to go and even take a shot of your own living room. You notice this is what I have done here. I took a shot of the living room of my children. It's very simple video. The video is not even good quality. It doesn't really matter. What matters is to train on the corner pin and to train on the tracking. Fine. Now that you have put the tracking, we want, of course, to analyze. Let's click on analyze and notice if the points are gonna stay in the corners of the TV. They're not gonna start jumping around. It seems everything is working very fine. You notice how easy is it? It's not hard and it's very simple. Of course, if you go watching videos where on YouTube where the guys are showing off with their skills, you might be intimidated. But actually here it's very easy. Here you are. It's about to finish. Great. Now it has tracked everything. It has analyzed. I want to bring another movie. Let's say we don't want this one. We want to take maybe the movie of the boat. But this is a short movie. So let's go and bring another movie. We import, file, and I have a movie in mind that will make it interesting for the kids to watch, which is the version. We can take this movie, for example, and just put it here. That's a nice video clip. Cool. So we brought it in and we are going just to drop it under or above the scene. Cool. When I come to source, I will choose my layer and then go to the layer panel. And here we have them all right. And we say edit target now. And we're going to take version.mp4 and click OK. I will click on apply to apply. And it goes back to the composition. And notice what's happening here. The version video has an effect that is corner pin. If you come to corner pin here, you will see them for the 4 corners. So it has determined the 4 corners, and also it has a position keyframes. So it has put the keyframe for all the corners and also has keyframe for the position. Now it seems like it's not working. That's because the version movie that is already cropped somehow is under the main layer. I will take it and put it above. Here you are. Now you notice that it has changed. If you come to the beginning and you have your preview with the new movie on the TV. And this is how you work on it. It's not difficult. It's pretty easy. And I encourage you to come and do some tests. Of course, this lecture is not that sophisticated. For the purpose to show you how easy it is gonna be for you to use the 4 corner pin and to replace certain areas of your movie by other movies or by other pictures or images, whatever you want, or even some other graphics that you can put there. I hope this was useful, and you must head to After Effects, open it, create your own videos or import some videos and start using the corner pin and the tracking to create something, unusual in your videos. I'll see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, are you ready for the challenge? Are you ready to practice? You went through this section about tracking, and now it's about time to put your knowledge and what you've learned to practice. And it's very important that you do practice, otherwise you will forget everything you have heard. I provided you with this free video clip for 3 dancing bulbs. You want to use tracking to track the bulbs, and you want to attach to them an effect, some PNG, this is the skull, and you want also to attach some text. So you have to figure out how many tracks you need, how many track points you need, and how to connect them. So it's very important that you go ahead to After Effects and start creating your tracks and start attaching the effect. The effect that I'm using here is the same effect we used in the lecture. I think you will remember it. And I provided you with the PNG image. So I will see you in the practice tutorial, and together we'll discover how this was created and you will upgrade your skills. But please, first of all, try to do it, try to execute it, and I'm sure if you went through the lectures, then you are able to do it, and it's pretty easy for you. Thank you. I'll see you then. Hi guys, how are you? And this is the tutorial for the challenge that I proposed in the lecture before. First of all, in your resources, you need to download the project file that contains these 3 files. This is what I showed you before, so don't go to it and start, cheating and learning how it's happening before you do it yourself. Let's start doing the first animation. We click on the video and we notice it is 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second. That's very good. We can create a comp by dragging it down to the timeline. So we have our first comp. So the first thing to do is to create our tracking points. For that, we come to the tracker. We choose our motion source, dancing bulbs, and here it is. And then we want to track motion. I'll select the layer and I say track motion. I'll choose track motion. It will create a track point for me. Now this track point is very small compared to the bulb. You know, it is not always obvious which area you want to cover. You might try 2-3 times. So let me do my best here and hopefully I will hit it from the first time. Cool. Let's press Alt and zoom in and I will take the track point just above here. Cool. Now we need to make it big. Notice that this is a white area. That's cool, but there is also a lot of white around. So maybe we do the tracking, you know, the area a bit big. Move it over here. And this one also bigger. Here you are. Something like this or even like this. Right? We do it big like this. Fine. So now I'm going to try. It doesn't have to happen from the first time, but we need to try. So now I will analyze forward and see if it's working fine. You notice that it's moving already with the bulb. Let's go back to 100%. Okay. And continue tracking or analyzing. And it's quite okay. It's not bad at all. And we have to decide how long we want to go. I assume 6 seconds will be okay. If you have time, you can go to all the video to the 12 seconds. So now 6 seconds is very near. We will wait for it to happen. So to stop it at 6 seconds, I will press the space bar and that's it, is done. Fine. Now I've created the tracking. Let's press U and see all our keyframes that are all there. I will press N to bring the work area and to this side. Now that's cool. Now I need to create another tracker here. How do I do that? It's very simple. I just click on track motion and another tracker is given to me and this is tracker 2. I'm going to do the same here and bring the tracker over here. Okay, now I can catch it better and make it as big as the other one. Maybe it worked very fine. Maybe this one doesn't work very fine. I don't know. But I encourage you to try a lot so you get a perfect tracking. So now I'm going to analyze forward. I'll bring the timeline here. You see there is a mistake because I put the track when it was, you know, in the end and the bulb was not in the right position. So these mistakes, you will always encounter them. Don't worry about it. Just correct them. And I think we're cool to go. I will track forward. Here you are. And see if it's working fine. Well, actually, this one is not bad. It is okay. The other one was better, but you notice the movement here is going back and forth from the light itself, the original light. I don't think this will be, you know, a major problem, but if you want to be perfect, you can even try it again. Stop here and retract, change your the tracking point, make it bigger or something like this. So it's approaching 6 seconds. I must be ready to press the space bar to stop it. And here you are. Fine, so we have our second point. Cool, now we want to do our third point and we'll follow the same procedure. I will click on the track motion. It will create the last track point, that's tracker 3. And I will zoom in, hold it and move it to this side. And move it again, here you are. Then make it bigger. It's quite fun. Since it's not difficult, it's very fun. It's a lot of fun. Here you are. Not good. We want to make it bigger and this one I'll make it bigger and move them both to this side. Yeah, I think this will work. So I'll go back to 100% fit and see if it's gonna work. I will come to the beginning of the timeline and go ahead, analyze forward. Here you are. I think this one is working the best. It's really on the point and we're happy from it. And actually it's going faster. So at 6 seconds we want to stop it. Be patient with me. And here you are. I press spacebar, it stopped. Fine. I know I have some keyframes outside the timeline indicator, but that doesn't really matter. Now, what I want to do is the first tracker, I will go to the tracker 1. So I'm in tracker 1. I want to attach the CC lights. How do I do that? If you remember very well, it was pretty easy, by the way. So I will go to Effects and click and look for a CC light. Here it is. This is the light trace that we want to use. Take the CC light trace and drop it over the dancing bulbs. It will open here in the effect control. Now I'll go back to the tracker and I will choose track 1. That's the first track. And then I want to edit the target. Now I have only one target, CC light rays. I'll click OK and I will apply. Let's say OK. Fine. Now I need to adjust here the radius and so on. I will take the radius very high to 220 or anything you want. This is a matter of taste here. And I will keep it round and so on. But the intensity here, I can reduce and increase the intensity. It will be nice if the intensity was a wiggle. Let's click while holding the alternate on the stopwatch, and we'll open here. We will say wiggle twice a second for 150 will do. I think so at least. Now here you are. Let's preview a bit and see what we have achieved. Not bad. It's okay. Now, of course, you can come and play with the CC light rays, adjust the radius, make it bigger, or even the, warp softness, make it not soft at all. There is the option of square. Look, this is beautiful. Let's leave it like this for this tutorial. Now I want to put the skull on the second track point. How do I do that? I'll come back to my layer. I'll come back to tracker. I'll find my second point. This is my second point. Now, first of all, I need to get the skull, that's the bone here. I will drop it inside the composition. It's pretty big. I will make it smaller. Okay, pull over here. That's nice. Nice skull, huh? And then I will come back to my layer panel and choose my layer, of course, and go to tracker 2. I'm there. Very fine. It's very easy. Go to bone here. It's suggesting to me the bone because CC light ray is already attached. And I will say, okay, fine. Now we want to try it, so we have to apply. We apply XY, of course, and it's there. Now the opacity is very high here. I'll press T, open the opacity, take it down. Yeah, it looks like, wow, mysterious. Cool. Let's go to preview and preview our composition. Have you done a good job? Is it working? Well, that's very fine, but the skull here, if you notice, the tracking is not perfect. The skull is not moving only with the bulb, but it looks like oscillating inside the bulb. Well, that's a nice effect. You can leave it like this. Let's go to the last one here, and we want to put on the tracker 3, we want to put some text. Fine, I will stop it. I will go to the beginning. I'm there. I will click on text and write warning. Now you can use any color you want. You might want to make it as beautiful as you want. But the most important is to put the anchor point in the middle so you don't have problems later on. So I press Ctrl, Alt, and Home and put the anchor point of the text in the middle. Cool. Now I want to attach it to the tracker 3. Wherever I put it, it really doesn't matter because it's going to go back and the anchor points are going to be with the attach point and it will connect together. So now I want to attach the text. I will go to the panel, layer panel here, and come to tracker 3. That's it. Edit target. And I will go to warning. You have warning here. I will press OK, get the warning, press apply, XY, and here it is over here. But now this warning is really inside the bulb. I will open A by pressing A. I will open the anchor point and take it down. Now I want to create that flickering effect. To create that flickering effect, you come to opacity and press Alt and click on the stopwatch and introduce a wiggle. Let's wiggle it twice or 3 times a second to 100. So it will go from 100% opacity and even to 0 and negative. Cool, that's happening. Let's go to preview and preview our work. Not bad. It's working 100%. And the effect that we have put here is quite good. Of course, you can come and put more effects here and more effects here and make it much more beautiful than I have done now. I hope this was useful, and it's very important that you go to After Effects and try it by yourself. You see how fast I went. If I wasn't talking, I would have gone faster, but that's the trick here. It's about training yourself, getting used to it. Then you can go to YouTube and Vimeo and find these fantastic things and try to do like them or even better. But first, please start with the basics. Start, training yourself about the track points. Don't go to these videos and get intimidated with motion tracking. I know people show off. You want really the basics, and after the basics and you really master them, you can go ahead and create anything you want with motion tracking. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next lecture or even in the next section.